Key point 1. Don't let others' advice affect your unique parenting experience. So, you became a parent, and now you share a house with a new neighbor whom you already love more than life itself. This person will buy a car, find a job, and suffer from first love one day. But before that happens, you have so many things to deal with. Just one thought makes you shiver. How will your life change now? And how to make the right choices in raising a child? The first desire is to ask for advice from other experienced mothers. However, do not perceive someone else's experience as universal. What works in one family may not work in yours. Best-selling author Emily Oster recalled her epiphany moment. Swaddling. There are hundreds of tips on the internet on how to wean your baby off the swaddle properly. But her son Finn only grunted in surprise when Oster put him to bed without a swaddle due to the heat, and he fell asleep peacefully. There were no special tricks, and the child was calm, although it was a painful experience for the eldest daughter, Penelope. The experience with a first child does not mean it will be easy with a second baby. This situation taught Oster two things. In parenting, you have less control than you think. You may not have control, but there is always a choice. Sometimes, society puts a lot of pressure on parents, especially those without experience. Each advisor knows better what to do. If you don't breastfeed, the child will develop slowly. My daughter was already walking at that age. The purpose of the summary is to reassure parents that they are doing everything right and encourage them to make decisions in favor of their families. Instead of ready-made solutions, you will find the necessary data based on which you will make decisions yourself. In addition, Oster did scientific research, so you can turn to statistics if you find it challenging to make a choice. Key point 2. Everything will be fine. Resolve some issues before childbirth. Some women take the process of birth easy, and others have a painful experience. You will spend 2 to 5 days in the hospital depending on how the childbirth went. After childbirth, you will need some time to accept a new stage in life, so your mind may be clouded. Try to make some decisions in advance. When a baby is born, a wet substance covers them. Don't worry, no liquid scares you when you are a parent. There are several arguments against instant bathing. Doctors consider skin-to-skin contact with the mother essential, as it increases the chances of breastfeeding and creates a closer bond with the baby. You can wait a few days or even a week before bathing your newborn. Nurses will ask if you want to send the baby to the neonatal ward or leave them next to you. Childbirth is tiring, and you may want peace. Remember, babies make a lot of noise. Some studies point to the risks of infant death in a shared room. 14% of children are in danger of falling out of bed due to mothers falling asleep while holding them. Make a decision that is comfortable for you. In any case, nothing wrong will happen if you sleep for several hours alone. Also, the baby will lose weight after birth. Don't panic. It happens with almost all newborns. A study published in 2015 in Pediatrics showed that at 48 hours of age, naturally born and breastfed babies lose 7% of birth weight. Weight loss beyond the normal range can signal problems, such as dehydration. If your baby's weight loss is more than ordinary, doctors will suggest you supplement with formula. Feel free to agree, because a few days of supplementing will not harm breastfeeding. Doctors often cut the umbilical cord as soon as the child is born. Some specialists recommend delaying this process so the child pumps some part of the blood from the placenta into the body. Supposedly, it affects health. There's no consensus, but ask the doctors not to rush to clamp the umbilical cord if you have the opportunity. Key point 3. Sleeping, crying. What you need to know about the first months with a baby. After returning home, you will soon realize that babies' hobbies are crying and refusing to sleep. The study examined the sleep of 26 infants under 3 months of age. Special sensors showed that children slept longer and calmer with swaddling. Do not suffer trying to repeat the manipulations of nurses that do not allow children to get out of diapers. There are convenient models with fasteners that provide reliable swaddling. When your baby learns to roll over on the stomach, you will have to say goodbye to swaddles. The older the baby gets, the more actively they struggle with the swaddles and manage to get out. The first time without swaddling may turn into restless nights, but everything will work out over time. Many babies cry a lot because of colic, painful spasms that will pass when the child is about 3 months old. Several remedies can help relieve colic. The first is a probiotic supplement. The second is changing the mother's diet if she is breastfeeding. It is necessary to exclude dairy products, wheat, eggs, and nuts from the menu. Don't forget to take care of yourself. Sleepless nights and endless crying increase the risk of postpartum depression and anxiety. Try to find an opportunity to relax. Nothing terrible will happen if you take a bath and leave the baby for a while. In case of severe anxiety and persistent depression, contact a psychotherapist. Sleep and good rest are the best medicine for mothers. Your body will also experience changes after giving birth. Stretched skin will disappear with time. Some women can return to their former shape, but many can't get rid of a small tummy. As for intimacy, some doctors believe that you should wait for 6 weeks after childbirth before having sex. If you feel ready for intimacy sooner, you are welcome. The main thing is to be prepared emotionally and use contraceptives. You can do light exercises a week after natural childbirth. Increase their intensity gradually, consulting a doctor. Did you know? Infant colic is not a medical diagnosis. It is often a label for children who constantly cry for no apparent reason. Key point 4. Breastfeeding is not your obligation as a mother. Sometimes it is a choice. Only lazy researchers have not spoken about the benefits of breastfeeding. They think it's good for both mother and baby. Breastfed babies sleep better and get sick less often. Mothers get closer emotional contact with the baby and save money on formula purchases. Many scientists studied the connection between breastfeeding and baby health. Breast milk contains antibodies so that it can protect the baby from diseases. In the 1930s, Scandinavian scientists assessed the IQ of 2 groups of children at age 5, those who breastfed for less than 3 months and those who breastfed for more than 6 months. The authors stated that children who received breast milk for longer showed a higher level of intelligence. However, breastfeeding mothers were wealthier and more educated. Several studies compared children from the same family. When the mother breastfed the brother, and the sister was not, the researchers found no significant difference between their intelligence. Dr. Benjamin Spock wrote that mothers should try and evaluate breastfeeding. You can enjoy it, but you can also feel pain. Breastfeeding is nothing but a negative experience for some women, so don't blame yourself if you decide it's not for you. Remember that the feeding process can be complex. Some women complain of insufficient lactation, while others complain of excessive. Some women cannot endure painful sensations during feeding. Nipples can crack, so women moisturize them constantly. Refusal to breastfeed doesn't make you a bad mother. It's a deliberate choice. It will benefit you and your baby. If you're worried that breastfeeding means a strict diet, then have some good news. You don't have to follow any diets. You only have to cut out the high-mercury fish like tuna. You can even have a glass of wine. For peace of mind, feed your baby a few hours after drinking. The American Academy of Pediatrics prohibits stuffing babies' cribs with toys and blankets when it comes to sleep. Babies should sleep in empty cribs on their backs. Sleep guidelines vary, but you need to know the following. 4 months, baby sleeps 3 times a day. 9 months, the child has 2 daytime sleeps. At 15 to 18 months, 1 daytime sleep. 3 years, many children stop sleeping during the day. If you think your child needs a lot of sleep, you probably have to put them to bed earlier since you cannot really get them to wake up later. Emily Oster. Key point 5. Raising a toddler, first steps, and watching TV. It would be best if you mentally prepared yourself that you will not have enough sleep, no matter how perfectly you organize your day. One of the methods of falling asleep is not suitable for everyone, but some parents find it useful. It is the cry-out method. It means you leave the baby in the room without soothing them, and they end up falling asleep on their own. A study conducted in Sweden in 2004 showed that the method made the relationship between children and parents warmer. Children's behavior and appetite improved. This method has other variations. You can sometimes return to the room, making intervals longer. You can also stay in the room but do not touch the baby. Most studies involve children between the ages of 4 to 15 months. This technique has been proven effective for improving sleep and benefits parents by recovering overall mental health. You can introduce rice cereal or oatmeal into your baby's diet from 4 to 6 months. After a few more weeks, you can give them vegetables and fruits. Give them vegetables first, so the child does not understand that fruits are tastier. In a month, introduce meat into the diet. Serve it all as a puree. Make a gap day between the new types of products to notice the occurrence of an allergy. The average age for the first steps is 1 year, but don't worry if your child walks earlier or later. Track the progress and, in case of serious deviations, contact your pediatrician. A child stands with support 5 to 11 months. Walks with assistance 6 to 13.4 months. Stands alone 7 to 17 months. Walks independently 8.2 to 17.6 months. If you need to distract your kids, you will probably switch on the TV or give them a tablet. Do not be afraid that the child's intelligence will drop immediately. Educational programs are useless for small kids. These are just pictures replacing each other. At an older age, watching TV shows does not cause negative consequences. Moreover, children who watched more TV between the ages of 3 to 5 performed better in school. In any case, you need to know the measure. A 2-year-old kid spends every day with a tablet. It is hardly helpful, but if you play educational games together for half an hour a day, you are on the right path. An hour of watching TV instead of an hour of children running around and screaming is more beneficial for both children and you. Key point 6. Don't be ashamed if you use the services of a babysitter. You take care of the child by choosing additional income. One of the main disputes between women is work. Mothers who go to work and women who stay at home experience the same pangs of conscience. Some women don't spend enough time with children. Others don't want to spend years in isolation. You can decide whether you are a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-work mom by answering 3 questions. What do you really want? What is the best solution for the child? What will happen to your family budget if you quit your job? Many women return to the office because they love it. Others feel happy devoting their lives to the family. Studies have shown that staying home does not affect a child's future success. Some researchers also believe that working parents set an excellent example for their daughters. Girls are more likely to work and are less likely to be subject to gender stereotypes. Always consider the financial issue. If it is essential for your budget, don't feel guilty about returning to the office. Money means more opportunities for your child's good life. While working, you can entrust your child to a nanny or a kindergarten. Find several nannies and several kindergartens that suit your needs. Compare all the options and choose the one that seems the most optimal. Also, analyze the financial side of the issue. Criteria for kindergartens that you should pay attention to. There are no open sockets and wires. The room and toys are regularly disinfected, and the cribs are safely constructed. There are many types of toys, educational and musical. There is enough space for kids to crawl and play. Children walk outdoors. Educators devote enough time to each child and educate children. Choosing a nanny is more complicated. You must rely on your inner instinct and trust. It should be someone with experience, pedagogical education, and the ability to play musical instruments. It's up to you. Studies have proven that children in kindergarten and babies raised by a nanny are equally successful in adapting to society. Therefore, don't worry that a child who does not attend kindergarten will become antisocial. Remember that children get sick more often in kindergarten, but their immunity is more robust. They also have better verbal and cognitive skills, but their behavior is worse. Never judge other parents' choices. Conclusion. 2 things are the critical rules of parenting. Your child is a person with their needs and desires. Your needs and wishes are also essential. While the child is small, they are dependent on your decisions. Therefore, it is essential to make decisions relying on proven facts. We build our experience on mistakes, and you can always do research or see a doctor. You can't force a toddler to explain their needs and stop screaming. Most likely, the children themselves don't know why they make scandals. Please do not get angry, don't shout or hit them. The calmer you are, the less the child wants to get mad. If necessary, go to another room to breathe and calm down. But you have to teach children to manage their emotions. Create a system of rewards and punishments, and be consistent in their implementation. A child's discipline begins with the parent's ability to control emotions. After the birth of a child, your identity doesn't go anywhere. You are the same person with needs and ambitions. Don't change your whole personality just because you have a child. You can teach more, remaining a versatile person. You receive much more than you give. Moments of your child's first step or first word are unforgettable. Remember that parenthood should be serious and problems should not be left to chance. There are also many joys ahead of you, so don't overthink potential troubles. Relax and enjoy the time with your children. Let's raise a glass to using data where it's useful, to making the right decisions for our families, to doing our best, and sometimes to just trying not to think about it. Emily Oster. Try this. If you feel anxious after childbirth or during pregnancy, and your mood worsens daily, refer to the Edinburgh Postpartum Depression Scale. It is a small questionnaire in which you need to note your condition during the week. If your possibility of depression is high, don't hesitate to get in touch with a specialist.